Oh no.
Our mics, our cameras up there. Hold on.
Yay!
Anyway, hello. Welcome back to another episode of yet another LARP podcast with me, Mark,
Me, Matt.
this guy. We're here. We did it. E3. We did it, Matt.
E3 done. We survived it, and not only did we survive, we thrived, and we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves.
I had an absolute belter of a weekend.
It was good. It was just nice. On a side note, that's that way. Behind us, we've got the vlog running. As just a.
My finger's been green screened.
Yeah, mine as well. I've got no fingers. So yeah, we had a good event. I think for me, I just didn't push it and force anything out for the weekend. We just had a real chill time, and it turned out to just be a real fun time.
We've cracked the code, my friend.
Yeah. So it was good.
Like I get that. Some people will want to, go ham and get a load of stuff done, and that works for some people. I've tried it and it doesn't work for me.
I think if you're in the groove, it's really cool. Like, I would absolutely love to be run off my feet at Empire. I might not enjoy it after an event or so. However, the thought of being important tickles me in places. However, that, like, I feel I would want that naturally. I wouldn't want to force it. Like, for example, if you became, we've said this before, like a senator or a general or something, then you've got lots of stuff to do, and that's part of your game, and you enjoy it. So
yeah.
But yeah, we did quite the opposite this event, where we just completely relaxed, right? And
very much so. I'd go so far as to say we chased coffee and tea around the field.
We weren't chasing plot; we were chasing tea bags, and yeah, like you said, I think it's possibly one of the most enjoyable events, at least of the year, maybe more than that. So, again, just didn't force anything out of Empire. Just went along, bumped into some really nice people.
Yeah, I think we wanted to. It's something we forgot to put into the E3 vlog, which we wanted to shout out some people, didn't we, that we met over the weekend, and certainly for me, and I'm sure you feel the same, Matt, basically enhanced the weekend for me.
Absolutely. We spoke to friends new and old, and it just made it made the weekend essentially. I'd like to do shout outs, however, I don't know half people's names. So I think a big shout out would be Lee. Lee the Imperial Orc, who we went and hung out with him on the Thursday, and basically he just took us around the Imperial Orcs, showed us what it was all about. Really, really friendly guy, and basically, gave us the lowdown on the Imperial Orcs on the Thursday. I think we were there for about 40 minutes, an hour or something like that. Obviously, it was Thursday, so by then I think he'd set up most of the camp.
Yes, I think so.
I think he was running off to do something else, wasn't he? So, yeah, I mean, we can't appreciate more, really, for what he did for us that weekend. He took us around Thursday. He said, come back Friday, time in, and, come have a chat with me. So we absolutely did.
Which we did, yeah.
Yeah, we kind of, we stumbled into him having a chat with another orc, an Irontide. And he was telling a really interesting story about his father, right, who was an ex-Varushkan slave orc.
Mm-hmm.
So he was telling us about that, which is really cool. And then he took us into his cool shaman tent, and we just had a really nice chat about that, and then witnessed some more RP. So OC and IC, a lot of cool stuff from Lee, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, on the Thursday, we basically had a tour of the Imperial Orc camp. I don't think a stone was left unturned, was it?
No, and I think he spoke about 4 or 5 different orc groups and kind of explained their sort of stories, and for people that would be interested in joining the orcs, he kind of gave us a bit of a lowdown. So again, and I said again, he was a really nice guy. So he's someone we've someone I've been meaning to meet for like an event or two, and we've just not met cross paths really. So we kind of, I think I bumped into his daughter Ash, and who again was like, "Oh, my dad really wants to meet you," and I was like, "Oh, I need to meet Lee as well because other stories of us coming from the same town." So we were like, "Oh, I think it was Friday morning. No, was it Friday morning or Thursday?"
It was Friday morning post shower, wasn't it? We bumped into him.
Yeah. So
in the OC field.
So we didn't see him Thursday then. I think I said we saw him Thursday. Anyway,
no, yeah, it must have been Friday before time in.
Yeah, so because it must have been, yeah, you're right. So we bumped into him. Well, yeah, so we're like, oh, we've got to go see Lee today, Friday. And literally we were walking to our shower and he's just like, excuse me, are you Matt? And we like turn around and there's literally like a few kind of camp like tents up from us. And we're like, oh, Lee, hello. And we had a quick chat with him, obviously. And he's like, come into the Orcs in a bit, I'll show you around. And then come into the Orcs Icy. So yeah, that's what we did. So yeah, first shout out really was just a really nice start to the weekend, wasn't it? Like it got us buzzing about LARP, about Imperial Orc stuff, about LARP in general, about Empire in general, like, and again meeting a really nice person who's just very friendly. So
definitely.
For me, I think that put a real boost to the start of the weekend for me, which was great.
No, I agree. I think for me as well, it really breathed new life into this game that until this event, really, we've sort of been sheltered by the four walls of Wintermark, I feel. And now, like, I always knew it existed, but there is quite literally a whole other game going on outside of the Wintermark field, and that's exciting.
But also, there's a whole game going on inside the Wintermark field as well. So that's why people kind of... I say people, actually, maybe that's why me and you have kind of found ourselves in Wintermark for such a long time, playing the game, and not necessarily getting out and about. But it was like you said, it was refreshing having that sort of taste of something else.
Yeah, definitely.
And then... if you don't mind me shouting out someone else, when on Thursday night, right, we went and hanged out with some mates at Dawn, House Castellan,
who cowboy party.
Yeah, they were hosting a cowboy party, which was cool. So we went there for a few drinks, although we didn't have any drinks. So luckily, one of our coven members was there, right, Odd, who unfortunately had whiskey, which we don't really drink. So
what had we drunk up until that point? Cider. You were on beer.
Beer site because we went to the Forge.
We had mead, and then whiskey. I'd also had gin.
You had gin at the car, yeah. So it was destined for a real messy one, which I don't think it was.
No, I think we recovered.
Yeah. So. So we were kind of at Castellan for a bit, and then we went to try find another friend at Wintermark camp at the Kingfishers. So we went to the Kingfishers. Our mate, I think it was Robin, we were trying to meet, wasn't there. So we just like hung out at the Kingfishers for like what felt like an hour or 2 hours, and they were just so accommodating and really nice. So that would sort of be my other shout out, that they were just great, and they were just really friendly. And we just sat down and spoke to them for ages. Well, it felt like ages. I don't know if it was. In a good way, not in a bad way.
So, yeah, no, definitely. And they were, like you said, they were really accommodating, and they were offering us food all weekend every time we walked past. But then, we just got, despite having no plans, we just got caught up in stuff and never actually made it, which is a shame because the food looked and smelled amazing.
Unfortunately, I'm sure we did find out their names. I've just completely forgot. I'm terrible with names, essentially. So
yeah, same. I told them. I've told everyone, every new person we met. I said, I'm probably going to forget your character name for sure.
Yeah.
Let alone real life names.
Yeah, I don't remember either. So I feel bad on that because they were great, and what I was going to say is one of the chaps at the Kingfishers. Yeah, his cooking looked phenomenal. We walked past a couple of times. He's doing like some sort of pork schnitzel and like I don't know, like onions or sauerkraut or something. I don't know. It looked amazing.
There's some kind of potato stew going on as well at one point. That looked
So
lush.
they kind of hosted us Thursday night, which Thursday again was like a chill day for us. What time did we sort of? I think you got there around 3:30, didn't you?
Yeah.
3:30, 4.
Yeah, you were there about 2, I think.
Yeah, and then I guess we probably got some food, and then I know we went to the forge for a bit, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
That was when we were plagued by wasps for the first couple of days. I remember we were sat in the forge, and someone came in and were like, "Oh, just giving a shout out from the first aid team that if you're drinking out of cans, just be careful because some wasps are getting in cans, and a few people have been stung on the face." And it was just like, okay, so yeah.
But I don't remember it ever being that much of a problem. But apparently, wasps have been an issue in the past.
I don't ever remember before, but I think someone was saying the wasps were just particularly bad that weekend.
Well,
at timing on Friday, I had a hornet on my hand.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and it was like it crawled into my cup, and one of Birch and Hall was like, "Why are you going to let it just go in your cup?" I was like, "Well, I'm not going to swat away a hornet. Like, if it wants to drink my mead, it can just carry on and drink it as long as it's happy. I'm not going to upset a hornet."
Very hospitable.
Yeah, and it then left me alone, so that was fine. But without going off on a tangent about wasps and hornets, so the Kingfishers was just really nice on the Thursday night, and I think that set the tone for the weekend, didn't it? You know, you had a really nice Thursday night. Then we rolled into bumping into Lee Friday. He showed us around, which was really nice on the Friday, which then leaves us to Friday time in.
Yeah, there is one last shout out actually. I think we should shout out the Yalpers that we came across over the weekend.
Yeah.
Big shout out to you guys for continuing to support us, hanging out in the Discord and sharing your experiences of your first event for a lot of you actually, which was cool. It's cool to see new people still coming into the community. Sure.
You've said it, but it was nice to meet people, right? It was nice to meet people, and again, maybe this all contributed it to us enjoying ourselves. But we had these people coming in for their first event, and we got to speak to them and see their sort of excitement and their buzz, and maybe that rubbed off onto us, perhaps.
I think so. I think so.
But what I was going to say is, I don't know if you want to talk about it. So, like Friday, we traditionally started at the Artisans, and then we went on to the Wonky Donkey and had quite a cool experience.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about the entire time in on Friday, actually. I was thinking about it earlier today, ahead of this. We did the usual drink of the Artisans, kind of half listen to Moots, try and catch anything interesting. And then I don't know where you went, but I ended up watching our Coven do a freezing brand of Irenaeus on somebody who used to be in the Coven and left without telling the Coven.
Saying. Yeah.
So that was a pretty spicy time in for 5 minutes into time in. It's
annoying because that ex-Coven member has like a mana sinecure or a mana ministry or something like that, so they get like mana on tap, which was a shame.
Again, apologies. I haven't interacted with them at all, really, other than having to bear witness to this awful curse on them.
Sorry. I think the reason why I was absent, I think I was tracking down Raina, the star of Meet Calf episode fame.
Meet the Player, number 1, Calf.
Player Calf. I think I was tracking them down. They're extremely busy because they were literally about to launch into a general election for the Fists of the Mountain, which is a Wintermark army, which the general was Kindra. And they were voting on that. They'd had like 2 or 3 other people step forwards to challenge Kindra for the position. So they were kind of tied up in that. So I was trying to chat to them, but they were busy. So I think then I came back to you, right?
Yeah.
After the Irenaeus rally.
We ended up in a
new pub.
An old but new pub, I think. Was it the first time the pub was there? I thought they had been years ago.
So, from memory, the landlady and landlord, I think they used to do Empire like 5 or 6 years ago and then stopped. And they've gone to, I think they were saying Curious Pastimes.
Yes.
And then they decided to come back to check it out, Empire out again. So they've set up a pub tent, which was nice, wasn't it?
It was the Wonky Donkey, very very enjoyable.
I'd go back. Lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, we had really well. Again, it was right from the get go of Time Out. I feel like just interactions were happening. So we had the quite fun interaction with a couple of Anvil first timers.
Winter markers, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I wish I remember their names. I'm so sorry. Funny enough, though, turns out they were camped like one tent up from us.
Yeah.
And we like realised on the Saturday midday, and I was like, oh, hang on. Yeah. So we bumped into them, and they had a really cool so they were selling drinks, weren't they? Which is cool.
Always cool.
Although it's all spirits, so I think I said I didn't want any. I can't remember now. Oh no, we bought some fudge off them. There we go. And they had some really cool role play.
Actually, hold on. Actually, I think they gifted you some fudge and jerky because you paid for their drinks.
Yes, I remember the jerky now. Yes, and it was lovely.
It was really good jerky.
I think I bought their drinks because Saren was feeling generous. So, and they had a really cool role play thing. So I think one of the characters' dad, he was adopted by an orc who passed away, and I can't remember what he wanted. I think he wanted.
They wanted an orc. They wanted to see if any of the orcs at Empire could hear their adopted father as an ancestor.
Yeah. Something along those lines, wasn't it? Because we were like, go check the Imperial Orcs, and he had an item of worth, and we were like, well, go chat to the Imperial Orcs. They might be able to help you. They might there might be some orcs there that can hear your adopted father. So, and we had Froth, so Robbie of Imperial Orc fame, Yelp episode Imperial Orcs. We were like, oh, go chat to Froth because he was the Way of Worth. Was unfortunately, I think he lost the position this event.
Yes, it was either this event or last event, wasn't it? We saw it kick off.
Yeah, he was basically challenged to a pit fight. I don't know. Should we be talking all about this? I don't know. It's pretty.
It's in the past now, so it's not fine.
Yeah,
it's not technically find out.
I guess.
Basically, no longer the Way of Worth, but the Way of Worth is an important position in the Imperial Orcs, especially if you have an item of worth.
And also, Froth, aka Robbie, was aware of Worth, so probably has a good idea about all this sort of stuff. So we were like, spoke to this Wintermark, and he's like, go find Froth in the Imperial Orcs, go chat to them, and hopefully they can help. Which I believe they did go, because I think we bumped into them later in the weekend. They said, oh, thanks for the... No, I went and spoke to the Imperial Orcs, and we were like, oh, good. So that was just a really nice interaction where I think we were like there for like 15, 20 minutes just chatting, which was quite nice. Like in the wonky donkey.
Yeah.
We had a really nice, real strong session read in the artisans, didn't we?
Yeah.
That was a throat ruiner. I enjoyed it, but I don't know, it seemed quite like phew.
That was our first drink of the night, and it was a spicy one to get the day going.
Yeah, it was. But that's again I found they do sell sort of pre-bought stuff, but quite like the artisans and the wonky donkey was all sort of self-brewed. Do you know what? I reckon we visited every pub in Empire, Wintermark that weekend.
Yeah.
If anyone's watching from Wintermark, and I get it because we visited the Rowdy Raven on Saturday night. And I know Hendel Hearth normally has a pub, but I don't think it was there this event. So we might have hit all the Wintermark ones. Anyway,
we went to a lot of pubs in general.
Yeah. So I can't remember where we went after the Rowdy Raven. We went to the...
Well, that was Saturday. We're still on Friday. You mean after the Wonky Donkey?
I was meant to say Wonky Donkey. We went to the Coven meeting, didn't we?
Yes. And then we went to the Drunken Goose.
Yeah, because we went to our Coven meeting, who then wanted us to go perform a ritual. So we marched all the way to the Reggio to find they weren't there. And disappeared. And we were like classic Coven. Like, no offense, guys, but you love it. You love doing it. So I think we were then like...
I told her to go in character.
Yeah. We were like, let's go to the goose, didn't we?
Yeah, which we did.
Because I think we spoke to a couple of Yalpers on the Friday, or maybe Saturday. No, Friday. Wait, we're still Friday. Friday morning, we were like, we're going to go check the goose out tonight. So we're like, we might bump into them there, so let's get up there. And that's why we went there. And
yeah, so I
nice
enjoyed.
goose, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've been there before and thoroughly enjoyed my time there. Admittedly, it was a lot darker when I went. And they have it all lit up. I also didn't realize that it's a cocktail bar.
Yeah.
So we made the mistake of trying to order pints, didn't we? Of that was beer and cider.
Quite a shock. However, fine.
The cocktail we had was very good.
Yeah. Where did we go after? Because we only had one drink in the goose, didn't we?
Yeah, I am struggling to remember where we went on Friday after that.
Yeah, I can't really remember.
No, I can't.
Because was it we literally just went to bed? Because Friday we had an early one, didn't we?
We did have. I was quite hanging.
On Friday we went to bed at 10:30.
Yeah, might have been. I'm sure we. I don't think it was dark though when we left the Drunken Goose.
Oh, I wish I knew. Maybe we went back to the Artisans or something like that.
Yeah,
or
possibly.
no, we would have. I wonder if we went to the Imperial Orcs.
Yes, we did because we had a coffee just before it closed, and it closed at 10, I think. Or was that Saturday?
I wish I knew.
I think it was Friday. I think we had coffee and tea there on the Friday. Yes, it was because we had just met Lee's character, Urmok.
Yeah. Urmok. I can't see that. Yes, I think it's got an L in it. Urmok. You think it's?
I thought it was just Urmok, but my hearing is terrible. So you're probably right.
My hearing is also terrible. So we had that really cool Imperial Orc experience. Yeah. Maybe you went to the Imperial Orcs before we went to the Goose. What do you reckon? It's not really relevant.
I don't think so, because when we went to the Orcs, it was dark. Because I remember we went into the Shaman tent and it was lit up and it was cool.
Yeah, but the Shaman tent was quite dark in there anyway. I remember it being light because we were sat outside when he was talking to that Irontide.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it must have been Orcs and then the Goose. It's a shame we can't film the entire weekend because then we would remember. Whereas I only really remember what we filmed behind us.
We could just get a dictaphone, right, and just have it in your pocket the whole weekend, and it can record the whole thing, and then you can.
Yeah, 9:48 just went into the Imperial Orc camp.
Yeah. Potential for E4 vlog. Yeah, you could just listen to the audio for a subscription fee. You can have access to the 72-hour audio footage.
Just what we hear as well, which would be mostly you and I talking absolute nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
especially
not much of it. And then my 8 hours of snoring at night, or yours, whichever has the dictaphone.
I believe that my snoring is got a lot less intense.
Mine's absolutely not. I got some new. I remember saying I used the nasal spray and it worked really well. So I went to the doctors to get more of it, and I don't think they've given me the same stuff I was using because this stuff does nothing. So, very much snoring right now.
But on the plus side, your van is quite insulated for sound, so I didn't hear you snoring at all. I heard a couple of honk shoes up the road a bit.
Yeah.
A couple of people sawing logs at 5 a.m. in their tent.
Yeah, both honk shoes. Have you seen the guys doing the rowboat? That's it. They're like videoing their mate who's just like, I guess, I don't know, maybe on a boys' night or something, and he's just completely out of it, snoring away. There's like four of them on the floor doing like the rowing. Brilliant. So
excellent.
And then because Friday we had an early one, wasn't it? I think we went to bed about 10:30 because that was, and we weren't actually that drunk, were we? Because I remember Friday we were saying how well we slept on Saturday morning. We were saying how well we slept Friday. So
yeah, that's true.
So
there you go. Look, Brahms recommended you a nasal spray.
It's not necessarily for. I think I don't know if I've said this to you, Mark, but I haven't declared it to the Yalp Nation. But I was finding my back of my throat was swelling up, maybe because I was snoring, or maybe it was a bit of both. And it's affecting my swallowing and stuff. So I went to the doctors, and they're like, "Try this spray," and it's just, I guess, an anti-inflammatory. I don't know, and it works really well, but obviously not this new spray. So at the moment, I'm struggling to swallow, and my missus is struggling to sleep. So, enjoyable stuff, isn't it? And that was Friday.
Yeah, Friday done. Saturday, big day. You can kind of see what we got up to right behind us right now on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday was Monstering Day for our nation.
And yeah, so Saturday we showered after monstering, didn't we? No, we showered before monstering.
Yes.
I can't remember
we showered before monstering because I suggested that maybe we shower after monstering, and you basically had a meltdown.
I think, yes, slightly, but also I think you were like, "Mate, we can just shower twice," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, fair enough." Or I said, I don't know, one of us said it.
It's a good
so
idea.
I think you're like, yeah, I think you were like, "I might just shower after monstering as well," and I was like, "Yeah, fair enough." So yeah, obviously we got suited and booted, did a bit of videoing about our kit. Used it as a bit of an idea for Orc kit, haven't we? But I can see our Orc stuff in the background, and kind of, funny enough, I've just had a message from Lee.
Oh yeah,
the Lee saying how good our Orc masks look, which is nice because I was unsure. I was unsure about my Orc mask.
No, I think yours looks fine, mate.
Yeah,
Mine, yeah. I look at it and I just see bits that I'm like, I need to change this and that. But do you know what? Like, it could be pretty usable.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, basically, let's give it a go. Rather than spending like 60, 70, 100 quid on a new mask, we could try it. I think I'm going to sort the hair out, put some, I think I said to you, Mark, I'm going to put in like ribbons and beads in the hair. And also I thought about, inspired by Lee's Orc, Ulmok. He's got like a white tattoo or face paint. It's a tattoo, isn't it? But obviously he's painted on the mask.
I think it's been carved onto the mask.
Was it?
I'm sure he said it was. They carved it onto it.
I know someone did it for him. Anyway, I thought if it was paint, I was thinking like maybe putting some painting, because my Orc I think's kind of got markings on the side of the head anyway. So I thought about maybe doing some face paint, but yeah, I was kind of I was anyway. I was trying to kind of use it as a bit of a dress up as an Orc and see what I'm thinking about stuff.
I did too. I intentionally left. Normally, I'd have my mask up until the fighting starts, but I intentionally put it on, left it on for as long as I could.
Yeah, we we walked separately to Monster, didn't we? And I think I said to you after I met up with you, like I did the same. I put my mask on as I left the van, and I was like, I'm going to walk all the way up. And it's quite, even though I was dressed in sort of orangey red, like the Jotun, it's quite funny. Like I crossed an Imperial Orc who like looked at me like maybe he was trying to figure out if I was a monster or a real Orc or an Imperial Orc, but like nodded at me, and I nodded at him. I was like, "You Orc."
The first Orc interaction.
Yeah, it was just a fun experience, and I was like, but yeah, I did the same, like trying to wear my mask kind of as long as I can, and apart from my mask obviously not made properly for my face yet, maybe I need to cut some bits out. I didn't find it that bad. Like I was in it for, I don't know, say a couple of hours. Well, I know that's nothing compared to the Imperial Orcs.
We went up at about 9:45. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we got out about 12:30, 12:15, 12:30, and then by the time we got back to I'm pretty sure it must have been nearly 3 hours.
Yeah, and I was hot and sweaty to be expected, and again, this mask doesn't fit. Like, I don't have proper nose holes, I don't have ear holes, I don't have holes in the top to try let hot air out. So it was sweaty, but then I kind of expected that. But I was doing healing, and I wasn't belting around the battlefield. I was like, half the time I was kind of stood there with Katie from Birchen Hall. She was playing a human healer, I was playing an Orc healer, so we kind of stood there a lot of the time. So yeah, I did. If I was like you were, You had your staff, didn't you?
Spear.
Or spear, that's right. So yeah, you were. I don't know how you got on running around, fighting and sweating, but
Well, fine. I mean, I took it a bit easy. I sort of just hung back for some of it. But yeah, the bits I did get stuck in, it was okay. And I know it wasn't a particularly hot event, all things considered. I know there's going to be way hotter events, but I found it fine.
Yeah,
I thought it was fine.
Oh. Yeah, I found it alright. I wish I could have spent more time in it just to kind of gauge it, but yeah, I kind of I enjoyed it. Monstering itself was a fun battle, wasn't it?
Yep.
Kind of like I felt for the first time in a while. Although the start of the battle, we were on the main field, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
The Imperials rocked up and kind of smashed us about a bit, pinned us in a corner. You know, like I just retired off the field because I was like, how am I going to kill my orc off? And I was like, yeah. And they were letting people retire off the field because it got a bit of a cram. So we jumped off the field as the kind of, I guess the Imperials swatted aside the Jotun force and then marched through the gate into the woodland where we circled back round and I think we went into the fort.
Yes. Well, I did. I lost you pretty much.
Yeah, we kind of
after
bumped
the
back into each other here and there, didn't we? So I think we slowly circled back round to the fort, and in the fort they had like a ritual team. So the Imperials had to kill that ritual team. So we were holding the fort and kind of getting hammered quite a bit to the point like they were breaking through the fort. They were inside the fort, and then I don't know. It just started going the Jotun's way, and we kind of bumped them back out. I don't know. I think I was in the middle of saying it and then got distracted. But I was saying like I felt like this monstering battle, the monsters just had quite a bit more clout than I've experienced previously. Like at a few times we'd have like a head-on collision with the front lines and kind of bounce them back, you know.
Yeah.
And it was a good feeling on the orcs because a lot of times we kind of I feel like we get rolled a bit too easily.
Yeah.
So like we were losing the fort, and then we managed to push them out of the fort, and then almost chase them halfway across the woods, which felt really good. And like loads of Imperials are going down, so I got some RP with some dying Imperials, and I was just like, "How can I use your passing Imperials?" Which was quite fun. I did healing. We decided to heal an Imperial as well, who was sort of begging for their life, and maybe we shouldn't have healed them because of that. Maybe it's not honourable. You know, they fought honourably, so we decided, yeah, do you know what? We'll heal you up. We got no guarantee you'll make it to your front lines because we thought Jotun are quite honourable, and it's a bit of a sign of honour. Maybe the wrong way of showing respect.
I mean, you gave a player another chance at playing their character, which is it the one that we saw later that day?
That was it.
Yeah, well, there you go. They're out and about, you know.
We saw them in the marches, and I was like, "That's the person I saved." So we did that. However, a load of other Imperials were still on the floor. I witnessed a couple die because I was like, "We can't just go around healing all the Imperials, right?" Like, you know. So
yeah, players have to unfortunately
have
their characters die.
We healed this one Imperial, and I kind of not regretted it, but I was like, I don't know if I should have done that because, you know, it's a nice thing to do, but you know, shouldn't I? And then I kind of with all the other Imperials, then I was just like, I'm not going to be mean to him, but you know, like for example, being like, oh, how can I help you passing, rather than being like, hey, let me heal you up.
Yeah. It's nice to know that your monster character is as indecisive as you in real life. That's a nice touch.
Exactly.
We've had a question in the chat. Who were we fighting? Now, I know we were fighting the Imperial Orcs because that's who I was fighting most of the time on the bridge.
So I can tell you who we were fighting by telling you who we weren't fighting. So we weren't fighting Dawn, the Marches, and obviously Wintermark. So everyone else we were fighting. So that's League, High Guard,
Varushka,
Varushka, Imperial Orcs. Urizen look really cool. So Urizen, like loads of their troops now have kind of got like almost Spartan helmets, but they're like blue. I don't know what group it is, but they look really cool. So yeah, we basically fighting everyone that wasn't Wintermark, Dawn, or Marches. So and Navarre, yeah, I don't know if you said that. So yeah, yeah, it was a good battle. We smashed them out of the sort of fort, smashed them across the woods, then retreat, like kind of march back to the fort to find that the ritualist had been killed. So like we were there to defend this ritualist. We marched, like we basically chase away the Imperials to come back to find that they just sneaked around the side and completed the objective. So maybe that was a bit stupid on the Orcs, the barbarian Orcs front, but it was. We still had fun. So then what happened then? I think we went back to the fort after finding our rituals dead. We got hit at the fort again. And then I think the Imperials then decided to leave the field. So we kind of, I don't know if we harassed them off the field.
Did you, I was checking something. Did you mention about, I don't know if you were there actually when it happened, but at one point, basically a breakaway group of about 20 Navari, after we'd repelled them from the fort, they broke off.
Charged around the side and killed the ritualist. Yeah, I literally just said that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I was checking something on the stream health.
Yeah, I was literally saying how we like pushed them out of the fort, came back and found they just snuck around the side and killed them.
Yeah. It was a breakaway of about 20 of them. I remember turning around and seeing them running in and was like, oh, shoot.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that we pushed them out of the fort, but maybe we should have pushed and then held, because that's the objective, rather than like we were just chasing them off to the field to then slowly get outnumbered and have to come back again, you know. But I mean, it was fun for both sides, so whatever. Yeah. And then I think they went off the field. We didn't push them. And what else happened? I think that's about it. And my orc didn't die, so I marched off, which is nice, I guess. And then what did we do after that? I think we probably just head straight back to camp, didn't we, and get changed?
Yes, it was wash up and get grub, I believe.
Yeah. So yeah, it was an enjoyable monstering experience. The reason why I did healing as well was, one, it was something different. I thought kind of get some orc role play to kind of figure out what I want to do as an orc. So I was like, let's do some healing, which was fun. Like, it was nice. It was something different, which I haven't done before. Also, I couldn't be bothered to take my weapons to weapon check. So I think we were there on a Saturday morning. We're like, we got to go to weapons check. And I was like, and I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to go heal or something like that. Turns out when I walked past the weapons check on the way to Monster, it was completely empty. So I had a dagger on me. So I just took my dagger, got it weapons checked, put it on my belt. This is a funny thing. So I was healing someone, like an orc in the battle. So I don't know, we're like 2 or 3 meters away from the front line, and they go down. So I was like, I'm patching you up, mate. So I'm like trying to, heal him up, and what's wrong with you, blah. And, like with that, like the front line's just getting smashed back, and like Katie stood next to me, like, you gotta move, and I'm like trying to heal him up, and like with that, she just like reaches round to my belt, pulls my dagger out, and he starts trying to swat away someone. And with that, we're like, okay, let's go. And like I finished healing this guy and ran off. So that was a funny thing. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, it was just like, funny shenanigans on the battle. But yeah, after the battle, went and got some grub, didn't we?
Yep. Grub's always good. And the event is always something that takes our fancy. I think this time it was the chili, the shredded. Shredded pork, shredded beef.
I think I had that on the Friday. Yeah, it's shredded pork. I think I had that on a Friday, but I didn't have it again.
I think you had it on a Sunday because you were like, I'm having them.
I invented a new dish on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
I had cheesy chips. Cheesy. You invented a whole new dish. I just didn't really invent it. So I had the cheesy chips. So this is from Get Smoked, which Bristol-based, whoop. But they're just like sort of burgers, chips, cheesy chips, sort of like hog fries. They do like sort of southern fried chicken stuff, So I got cheesy chips, got a burger, and they kind of cooked a burger for me and then kind of like chopped it up and put it on top of my fries, and then I had some buffalo sauce on it. That was Sunday. That was lush.
Nice.
Maybe Saturday I had a burger, chicken burger.
Yeah, I can't remember Saturday.
I know Saturday because it's in the vlog. So
I think I had a.
Unsure,
Oh, is it?
yeah, it's in the vlog. So I remember us talking about Saturday. I'm pretty sure I had a burger, and you had hog fries, yeah. So
hog fries, yeah.
Mm,
Did also have a toasty or two over the weekend as well.
yeah, I can't think what I had a toasty once.
And ham and cheese. And something else.
I'll tell you what, Jabberwocky toasties or whatever they're called, but ham and cheese is an underrated toasty. Everyone's bigging up the barbecue toasties they do. I'm sure they're lovely, but nothing quite beats just a nice, smoothie, creamy, cheesy ham toasty.
Agreed. So, I quite like the tuna ones, to be fair. Tuna melts. They're an unsung hero. Also, the Jabberwocky toasties do a dessert toasty. So this event, it was like a raspberry jam toasty, whereas I think previously it's been Nutella. Which might have to, if there's Nutella next event, I'll add Nutella.
Yeah.
Nutella.
I'm saying Nutella.
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 Is that a Bristol thing?
So,
I'm about it, but I think this opens up a whole.
I wish I could say.
This opens up a whole other debate.
Nutella? I don't know why I said it like that. I do.
Do you eat peanut butter?
Check. Good question. Shut up.
No, we'll put it in the Discord. It can be a.
I don't know.
How do you pronounce Nutella or Nutella?
I think I say both sometimes.
Okay.
Nutella. Nah, I don't know. Maybe I favour Nutella. Anyway, it doesn't matter. If it's there next event, I'm going to eat it.
It's a pointless debate, but we're going to have it.
By golly, we'll have it. And then was it Saturday we had the milkshakes?
I had forgotten about that, but now I'm remembering having them, and then we were both just like
instant brain freeze.
Yeah, just a couple of ice cream balloons rolling around the field.
It was very
so
enjoyable, but like having a lunch and then
that must have been
big, thick milkshakes.
That must have been Friday when because we had coffee at the Orcs.
Do you know what? It's all a blur. Maybe we shouldn't have waited a week and a bit to do this, but who knows? Also, it doesn't really matter. At some point that weekend, we had milkshakes, and that's all you need to know.
They were good.
They were enjoyable. They do like smoothies and stuff at the same place, don't they? Which they do breakfast smoothies. Not smoothies. I don't know.
Yeah, that's new as well.
It's like oats and stuff. So almost like overnight oats. I think they do something similar, which is.
It's a bacon and egg one as well. Hash browns blended together.
Yeah, blended into a thick paste that you can rub into your gums.
That's definitely new because I remember last time we were getting. This might have been at the end of last year actually. There's a few of us up there getting coffee, and someone was like, "Oh, I might get a smoothie," and tried to order it. And they were like, "We're not doing that. We're not doing that this early. This is like 8 a.m."
Oh yeah, I think I was there when that happened. So yeah, that's the coffee place. I can't remember what they're called. Place. It's got to be something like The Grind or something like that. That's a classic coffee shop name. The Daily Grind is a coffee place up the road from me.
The Bean Machine.
Yeah. The Bean.
I'm not sure what it was called. If anyone knows, let us know.
I don't know. Maybe we'll.
It's probably on the wiki. I'll have a little look.
Go on. So and then I guess on Saturday, what happened on Saturday? We did our ritual Saturday, didn't we?
Yes, big ritual.
We did a 13 target clarion calls of ivory dust, which is basically a ritual to buff a military unit. Mm-hmm. So basically, it would kind of double the effects of a military unit, right? So we did 13 targets all at once. So we had our whole cover there of 18 people.
Do you know what I found the name? Sorry to interrupt.
Go on.
Been there, drunk that.
Is that it? Oh,
Unless they haven't updated the wiki, but yeah.
It's a classic coffee name. So, yes, I've forgotten. Oh yeah, so we did this mass ritual, which was really cool. Well, that was fun. We part of the ritual, there was something going on that event. I don't know what it was, but if you were to cut yourself during this ritual, put yourself down to 0 hits and bleeding out, it will grant you an extra rank in Winter Law.
Yeah.
So our whole coven did that. So like we did this ritual, and sort of at the end, we were all like, and like died, and the hospital had to quickly rush over and heal us all up.
Yeah,
which was kind of fun. That was cool. Just had some random person come up to me and like, oh, let me help you. So,
it wasn't the hospital, was it? We'd bought a.
It was. We paid the hospital in advance to stand near us and then heal us up.
Okay.
So that's why.
They did a great job. I don't think I even hit the floor before I was being healed.
You were caught mid-flight.
Yeah.
I was led on the floor and then, someone helped me.
I was like, just let me die. I want to bleed out a bit more.
Yeah, as they were healing you, you were just plunging the knife in. Yeah. So that was fun. And then what happened then? Was it Saturday we were? I'm going to stop remembering stuff because I'm getting real jumbled up and it doesn't. Really
no, go on. You're going to do better than me, so you're going to have to say it.
We went to an Urzen tea house, didn't we?
Yes, that was Saturday.
Yeah, because you tried to pay the person behind the counter in court. Like, oh, let me pay for that, and they're like, please put the money in the dish.
Yeah.
Like,
don't touch me.
Oh yeah. You don't like physical touching, so
we actually went to the Brass Coast before that.
And
because we started getting kicked out of every coffee house we went in. They were suddenly closing, weren't they?
we shut to. So yeah, we went to the Brass Coast for a coffee. We were like, I don't know, 10 minutes into our tea, and they were like, "Sorry guys, we're going to a wedding. You've got to leave." And we're like, "Oh, okay." But I mean, we were basically done anyway, so we're like, "Cool." And it was actually a really, really nice coffee house and really well set dressed. I wish I knew what it was called. There was peacock feathers everywhere.
Yeah, I remember you said as well. You were like, "Oh, this is the so and so."
The peacock, maybe, I don't know. So we left. So that place shut, so we had to leave. So we went to Urzen, had a coffee, and like 10 minutes in, they were like, "Oh, I hope it's okay, but we're about to shut for lunch." We're like, right. So yeah, within like 10 minutes, they're like, "Can you leave, please? We're all gonna have lunch now." And it was like, okay. So we left then, and then was that when we stumbled into the Marcher Summer Fair?
It was. Things were popping in the marches.
So our first experience, we walked into the Marcher Fair, and there was like a 25-person line dance going on, and it was all like, and they had like a 5-piece band, didn't they? They had like, I swear there was someone playing cello. I might be wrong. There was a cello. There was a violin. There was like a pipe. That was popping, as you said. That was quality. I just wish I had the sack to jump in and do it, but we watched it and it was still enjoyable to watch. So, and that was like really fun. So they had like, I think they obviously just set up like three, 4 or 5 dances, and then did that, and then kind of finished up. And essentially, like the marches, that basically their summer fair was sort of, I guess, all the kind of halls or banners or whatever, the houses, whatever they call them, they put on something. So we just went and perused, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, I think we tried most things that were going on. We both had a spin on the spinny wheel. I won a bracelet that a future character is going to be wearing. You won, I think, a load of sweets.
I won a lucky rock.
Oh yeah, that was it, lucky rock. Well, I mean, you chose the lucky rock.
Yeah, they were like, you won a crown, because if you win the top prize, you win a crown, but you only pay a few rings. And I was like, tell you what, keep the crown. And they're like, well, please select a prize off this table. And there was like some really cool bookmarks and stuff. And then they just had some rocks with string on. And I was like, what are they? And they're like, these are lucky rocks. And I was like, how lucky? And they're like, I wish I could tell you, but I can't detect magic. And I was like, well, I can. And I was like, yeah, I'll have this one, please. So I had a lucky rock, which didn't do me lucky, unfortunately.
I think it did, because then we went to that
Yeah,
other wheel and
that's
you
true.
won something else on there.
Oh yeah, there was some leaguers walking around doing like a labyrinth wheel, and I won a ring. And also, we proved the lucky rock because I was playing the dice game holding the lucky rock, and I almost won. And then we said, well, let's do it again without holding the lucky rock. So I did, and I failed like within the first few turns. So
Yeah, that's true.
maybe it's a lucky rock, just not the luckiest rock.
Then we played a bit of cornhole.
We did throw the beanbag in the hole. That's fun.
As it is also now.
Yeah, yeah. And we were like, they were basically like, oh, prosperity, like just give some money if you want to. We're like, oh, we'll pay. And we're like, well, where do we pay? And this guy's like, you can give me money then. We're like, oh, okay. Went to give him money, and then someone from his house turns up like, don't give him any money. He can't be trusted. He's like, give it to me. And we're like, okay. So yeah, it was that's fun, yeah. But again, it was just like those silly, like, we weren't trying to run around buying bourse or try be a senator. We were just chilling and kind of stumbled into this really cool stuff and had some fun.
Yeah. We did that hammer game as well, hammer the nail into the wood.
Who could have thought hammering a nail into wood could be so fun? You did it first time, didn't you? Like I had like 2 or 3 goes, and then Mark steps up and wabang. You had the hammer had to rest on a bit of wood, then you have to lift it up in one sweep and then hit the nail. But the idea is you had to hit the nail into the wood to win a prize, but it was a tiny little hammer, so it would have taken an absolute like power
massive
drive
swing
to get it in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, we hit the nail a couple of times. That was good fun.
Yeah.
We bought some macaroons.
Oh man, the bag of macaroons! What a treat that was.
So it's a bit like you ever had it? Is it like Cadbury's misshapes or something like that?
Yeah, or broken biscuits.
Yeah, or broken. It was like a box. So they were selling macaroons, fine, but they had like a load of bags of broken macaroons, and they were like, oh, these are a lot cheaper. Well, no, they were prosperity prices, weren't they? So they're like, I'll just pay what you want for them, I think.
Yes, and you were like, 4 crowns.
Yes.
And they were like, oh my god.
Yeah, because they were selling like a tray of proper good ones for 4 crowns, and we just got a bag of broken ones. But we were just nibbling on macaroons for.
Yeah, it was great. Every so often, I just heard Saren go, "Macaroon, Lucan." Yeah.
Can I trouble you for a macaroon, sir? And then we went up to all the bars, and they were closed.
Actually,
I say all the bars.
One was not. Yeah, one was closed. One was very open, but very full of an auction.
Oh yeah, that was later on in the night, wasn't it?
Was it?
That wasn't during the fair. Yeah, that was when we went. That was when we went back later. Yeah,
I can't keep track of time.
Yeah, so we went there, and the boar and badger, I think. We walked in there, it was dead, and there was someone there, and we were like, and they're like, yeah, it's not open. And we're like, okay. So we left, and then I think we went up through League then, didn't we? But yeah, anyway, we came back through to the marches because we need to have a drink in the marches. So we went back through, and yeah, there was a massive auction going on.
Yes.
And we basically witnessed an auction for like 45 minutes, which is good fun. Finian Smud of Marcher, Yaup podcast, Marcher episode fame. He was there just buying everything essentially, which is good fun. He bought an insanely rare collectible trading card, which I don't even know if we can talk about because it's so rare. But maybe ask Finian Smud to see it next time you bump into him.
Well, hold on. He won 2.
Or Lucan Leifson.
Lucan has
of Birchenall.
I believe Lucan has 1 of 3 in the entire field.
There's only 3 of these cards in the field, and you've got 1 of them.
So. If it wasn't so packed away, I'd go and get it, but it'd take ages to find it.
And it's a shiny. So it's almost like essentially like a Topps Trump card, isn't it?
It is. It's a card of Amber Lane Black, which is a player character.
It's a Marcher General, am I right in thinking?
Yes.
Which is cool. So yeah, we witnessed that. So yeah, we obviously came for a drink, but had to watch it. Although Finian was like, mate, just go get a drink from the bar. But obviously it would have meant like kind of walking through an auction. So we were like, nah. So we left the marches I wish I knew where we went afterwards. Oh, I think we went back to the Orcs because that's when we bumped into Frith, who was buying Mithril. Am I right in thinking that? Yeah. So we went back to get. I think we went to get a hot drink from the Orcs, but we just missed them. They were shut because I think they shut between like 2 and 4 or something, don't they?
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like
They were open 10 till 2, and then they reopened at 6.
That's it. So, yeah, I think we just missed them.
Yeah.
On the out on after the sort of March affair. I don't know then what we did Saturday until we went to the Dawnish Ball, which was at 8. So I'm missing around 6 hours of Saturday. I don't know what we got up to.
Yeah, what did we do?
Oh no, maybe the tea house is open 10 till 4. Because we would have been on the battlefield at 12, so I don't know how we would have got around at everything.
All of this must have happened after.
Mate, I don't know. It happened on Saturday. So
well, we saw Castellan at one point in Wintermark, didn't we? Because you gave them a mithril.
They were collecting. So a big name in Dawn for Castellan was Giratane. I think Saren's met him a few times. Really nice guy. Don't know what they're doing now, but they well, I know what they're doing. They're dead. I don't know what their player was doing. But so they're basically like erecting a statue for Giratane, and it's going to be like a sinecure or something like that.
Yes, I
so
think
they were trying to collect like 8 white granite, I think. So I gifted them a mithril, and yeah, by the sound of it, by the end of the event, they've got it fully funded, which was great. So yeah, and then. Oh yeah, because you were talking to. Do you know what? It's all a blur, and all I can tell you is on Saturday we did LARP. There you go. That's the easiest thing to say.
You're not wrong.
We LARPed on Saturday.
Yeah, the Dawnish Ball started at 8:30ish, but before that, I definitely. What did we do before that?
I don't know.
I was going to say I definitely did something.
We did something.
I know I went to Castellan again because I overheard the singing mithril person singing about really cheap white granite.
Was it Saturday we were tracking down white granite, mithril, or was that Sunday?
I think it was Sunday.
Because
no, it wasn't. It wasn't Sunday. It wasn't Sunday.
No, because basically we ended up selling all our mithril, so we had none left, and then we had a really good idea for future things, so which needed mithril. So we're like, oh great, now we're gonna have to go buy some mithril again. So I think we just walked around looking for mithril for a bit, didn't we?
Yeah. Which we actually did.
Yeah, we stumbled into the singing boss guy. So it's a Brass Coast. So a freeborn essentially who goes around selling boss resources, and they always go around singing like mithril, white granite for sale. You'll hear them. And we were just like, yo, what you selling? How much for? And maybe we paid, from experience, I don't know what's fair. I was going to say, from experience, they always seem a bit expensive for the boss, but then also, I guess it's all relative, so whatever. They probably just sell it to make a bit of profit. Fine.
I think we did okay.
Yeah, I think we paid like 5 thrones too for a mithril, and we're like, whatever, we have our mithril now for future plans. So,
well, I was going to skirt around the price, but there we go. He's put it out there.
I mean, I could have lied. Could have made it up. So, yeah, we did that on Saturday. People in the chat are talking about the Dawn deaths, which I guess I don't know if we talk about by the time we come to Sunday, but that was Sunday's battle. Dawn Wintermark, and which I've only gone off from what I've heard. Okay, I guess we'll quickly round off Saturday and then we'll ramble about Sunday. But from the Sunday
because that's
going
to form part of Sunday. So
yeah, we'll come back to it. But yeah, stuff happened Sunday. So Saturday, so let's just assume we were looking for mithril for 4 hours and then we found it and then stumbled into the Dawn so we actually got split up. So I bumped into Birchin Hall, and I was like, I'm going to go chat to Birchin Hall, and you went to go find.
Just to put a time on all of this, we definitely were at the Brass Coast coffee shop at 3:00 because the wedding was at 3:00. I remember it being on the board.
So,
which means we were at the Urizen coffee place at about 5, probably 4.
Probably less. And then we went.
We didn't go straight there, surely. We didn't just have multiple coffee and tea straight away.
I think we walked. We went to Brass Coast and walked straight to Urizen. Yeah. And then after Urizen, it was Marches. So we were literally like 2 hours later than we originally thought. Okay, that makes sense. So, Dornish Ball, you went off and ended up having an absolute dance in the ball.
I did.
Dornish Ball.
Shout out to Ione. To be honest, I was stood by Castellan, and she was like, "Who wants to dance?" And most of Castellan were like, "No." Oh. And then she was like, "Oh, Lucan, you'll dance," and I was like,
"Luckily, Party Lucan was out."
Yeah, so we had a lovely dance, and then it escalated into a giant circle of death.
Yeah, it was like, it was just everyone holding hands but just spinning around, right?
Yeah,
it was
really good,
crazy. So so whilst you were dancing, I was hanging out with Birchin Hall, and I was like, "Oh, let's go get drinks at Wise Guys," which is a pub in Dawn, and I queued up for what felt like forever. Got there, and they're like, "Yeah, we've got some spirits, or we've got some cider left." They basically sold out of everything. So I was like, right, it looks like we're having 4 ciders or whatever. It was actually quite a nice cider, but maybe a bit strong. And then we were just chatting I was just chatting to Birchin for a while, and then my mate Cass was like, I really want an ale, but they'd sold out of them at Wise Guys. And I was like, well, I'm going to go to the toilet. And I think I had it in my head. I was like, I'm going to go to one of the Wintermart pubs. And with that, like, I went to the toilet and came out, and right next to the toilet block is the Rowdy Raven, which I referenced earlier, which is a pub in Wintermart. And I was just like, I went over, and they're like, yeah, we've just restocked. I say they just restocked because that leads on to another funny story in a sec. But they were like, oh, we just restocked. So I was like, oh, brilliant, I'll have a bottle of ale. And I bought 2 bottles. They were just selling like shop bought ale, but that's fine. So I bought 2 bottles of ale. I was like, I'll take one back to Cass, which I don't think she drank it, and I think I drank it. But like, I think I came back and bumped into you, right? And I was like, oh, let's get some drinks. You're like, oh, I'll have a cider, mate. And I was like, I know a place. So we kind of marched back to the Rowdy Raven. I was like, oh, yeah, want a cider, please? And they're like, yeah, we just sold out. I was like, which is annoying. Because I think when I was there, they were like, yeah, we've got a couple of bottles left. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. A mind.
Yeah. My bad.
I think we found one somewhere. I can't remember what happened. Maybe not. I don't know.
I don't. And then I think to end Saturday, I think Birchin Hall were like, oh, we're going to go to the Marches, I think. And you were like, well, I'm going to go to bed. You were like, I'm going to go grab a coffee and go to bed, weren't you? So I think you were going to go to the Orcs to grab coffee.
Oh, yeah. And it was way too late for the Orcs. And when I got to the OC area for coffee, it changed into a pizza from coffee. That was pizza night.
That does happen.
Yeah.
How was the pizza?
It was good. It was way better than coffee.
I haven't yet to... that's a thing I completely didn't do, which is really annoying. So there's, in Wintermark, there's the Willows... I think they're the Willows, or maybe they're called something else, but they're referred to as the Willows. They do like freshly made pizzas. And I was chatting to them Friday when we were at a cover meeting, and I was like, don't worry guys, I'll be back tomorrow to get a pizza, because I was absolutely planning on doing that because they're lush pizzas.
Yeah.
And I forgot and never went back, which is a shame. So maybe this event going forward, although I've got no money now because I've basically spent all my money.
Yeah. Oh, you mean IC money? Ah, yeah.
IC money, yeah.
I'm fine. I can cover us for E4.
Sarah, although my fleet in downtime has gone somewhere to just give a load of coin, so I should have like a throne and a half coming in.
Cool.
And then, so yeah, you got a pizza, and in the meantime, I lost, but because so this was the cheese moment when I got cheese. So I left the virtual camp, or I can't. Do you know, I think we went to the virtual camp to go to the marches, and we're like, okay, we're leaving. So as we left the virtual camp in the woods, like bumped into some traders peddling cheese. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, you can have cheese with." I think it was just plain bag cheese, or like cheese with like a salad or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, I'll just have some cheese, please." So I got this bag of cheese. Again, like spoke to the people selling cheese; they were really nice. I think they said they liked our vlog, which was really cool. Again, terrible names. However, I did bump into them Sunday and quickly, briefly spoke to them before I left Sunday and just said thanks for the cheese again because the cheese was lush. I basically just had a bag of like tubes of like mature cheddar, and I was just eating cheese, which is a highlight of anyone's day, I'd like to think.
What a way to end the day.
And like basically, I got chatting to these people who sell cheese, and we just started chatting. So then Birch and all like, "Oh man, we're going to go on now." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll catch up with you." And like with that, I was like, "Right, sorry guys, I got to go. I'm going to catch up with these guys." Turn around, and Birch and all were gone. And I was like, "Oh, great." So I was like, "Where have they gone?" So I was like, I marched like to Navarre to look for them, look around Songs and Stories. I was like, "No, they're not here." And I was like, oh. So I went down to the Orcs and I checked out the Admiral Teach, the Orc bar, which looked really cool. But I was like, no. And then I went into the Orc camp, and a couple of Orcs were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just trying to look for someone." They're like, "Oh, okay." And then I left the Orc camp, went back to Songs and Stories, and I was like, "Where are they?" And then with that, I was like, "Oh yeah, we were heading to the marches." So I just walked to the marches and found them. And that's when we did like sort of skein readings. So my mate Tom Ryder gave me a skein reading. I tried to give everyone else a skein reading without being a bit too crap, but I'm pretty rubbish at them. And then with that, I hit the hay, went to bed. So I think me, Max, and Cass left the marches, and I went to bed, and that was my Saturday. So you finished off on a nice pizza and a chill down, and I
do you know that
half the field.
That pizza was still scalding hot when I got it back to the car. It stayed very warm for a very long time. It was good. It tasted good.
Yeah, it's a curse. Like you don't want it to be cold when you buy it, right?
No.
But I have it with these coffees. We get the coffees in the morning. I can't drink it for like 10 because I don't like hot stuff anyway. Drinks anyway. So I got to wait for like 10-15 minutes before I can start drinking it because it's absolutely boiling, which is I guess good. But
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, not to go down a coffee rabbit hole, but it's better to have it a bit off the boil, like not straight off the boil.
Mm-hmm.
Like leave it like a minute or so to lower a bit in temperature so it doesn't burn the bean. But
the bean, I always not that I make coffee, but put it with the milk first. Anyway, so unless you're having a black coffee, I guess. I swear someone on the weekend, unless I'm thinking of someone else, but they were like, "Oh, they did me a tea," but then it was the Urizen tea place. They did my tea. Another ran without getting, I guess, distracted. But my teacup, my little cup I use for tea, isn't it? It's just a little metal cup. So they'll put like tea.
It's so conductive.
I normally have like so I'll have like a ginger and lemon tea. So they don't put milk in that. So it's literally just like a tea bag in that boiling water, and then you pick it up, and you're like, and you've got to quickly put it down because it gets so hot. And then you got to, but obviously I don't mind leaving it for like 5-10 minutes anyway, but you have to. So it's maybe my next character won't have this little cup. And then I got distracted and forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, the Urizen place. They put some cold water in my tea, so I'll put a dash of cold in so you can actually drink it straight away. I was like, yeah, cool, thanks. That's appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, really, all you had to do was probably just ask.
Yeah, well, that obviously that goes without saying, but
where's the fun in that?
As if I'd ever just ask someone something.
Yeah, that was Saturday. And then we came to Sunday.
Which was our nation's turn to fight. Which obviously we didn't fight. So we headed out into the field to... I was just remembering the Wintermark wedding, but we'll get back to that in a sec, because I think that was Sunday afternoon, maybe. So we went to the main moot square to see Wintermark off, didn't we? So
yeah,
we had Ryder fighting that day from our group. We had Alette fighting that day from our group, and we had Max, who's a marcher. He was fighting that day as well. So we went to the Moot Square in the Wintermark camp to see them sort of all column up and march off. And then we headed to the Sentinel Gate, didn't we?
Yes.
Where we watched everyone off, which was quite cool.
We had quite good seats for that, actually. We were right at the front for Dawn. And
although apparently
marches.
we were asked to move aside because we were going to get trampled by all the people, even though we were just to the side of the main walking path. So we were like...
Yeah. I'm pretty sure people will just move around people like they have done.
They're like, you're going to get run over by Dawn in a minute. And I'm like, well, they should be able to navigate a right-hand end. But
Dawn will be lucky. Dawn will be lucky to run us over.
Yeah, and funnily enough, they did do fine. We didn't get trampled.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got to see... So Wintermark went out onto the field first, and then it was Dawn with help from the Crimson Reapers, which is a League mercenary banner. So they went out as well.
I did. I did spot our friends over at To Have and To Roll as well on their way out.
Yeah,
the Dawnish column.
We saw them out. Unfortunately, their last venture out.
Yes.
Without giving it away. I don't know if we're giving anything away, to be honest. So we saw. I think I said at the time. Oh, also we bumped into our friend from the Wonky Donkey, the orphan adopted by an orc whose camp's right next to us. So we bumped into him and we were just chatting, which was really nice. So we got to see I said to you on the day, like it was just a lot more. I don't know if it's something that's happened in the last year or so, but it's loads of people seem to be carrying personal banners now. So you just get to see a lot more of these banners go onto the battlefield, and it's just a really cool thing to see. So Wintermark had a load, Dawn had a load. I can't remember if Marches had a load, but it's just I'm not overly bothered about fighting in a way, but it was impressive seeing the marches. Like the marches just like took it quite seriously, which is really cool because they were literally like had their bills, so they were like a lot of bills, and they got a nice bow block as well, quite a few bowmen. But yeah, they just like literally bill at the shoulder, and they just like marched onto the battlefield. They look so impressive. Dawn with all their like plate and looking impressive as well, and Wintermark, the mass that is Wintermark, blobbing onto the field. It was great. It was just a really cool experience to see. So yeah, that was fun. That was nice to do. Someone's asking about where Loomies is, but you put it in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably cover it again because we went there. That was literally our next thing to do on the Sunday, wasn't it? We went to Loomies.
Exactly. I think after that, we went straight to the Loomies.
Yeah, so Loomies is next to the Artisan's Arms, which is the big green tent at the bottom of our square. It's kind of hard to describe where, but it's closest to like the OC side, or it usually is.
Yeah,
closest to the OC field. Sorry.
Everyone knows where Loomies is, so if you just go, where's Loomies? Loomies tea house named after the landlord that is Loomie. Is that landlord? Anyway, so yeah, the proprietor,
the owner,
the business, the owner, Loomie, and Loomies is great for teas and stuff. So
yeah,
well,
it's great for teas and coffees, but it's also great for just hearing stuff that's going on. Like we were listening to some, I don't even know what debates were going on, but a lot of stuff goes on around you.
I'm not qualified to talk about what debates were going. Although we witnessed like the new item that's been put into Imperial. I don't know if that's the right words actually. So we got a new item this event, wasn't it? It's a ring, and you can like get a rank a day, like an extra rank, or I can't even remember what it is.
But you hear about stuff like that, and you hear about like a lot of trade goes on around you. People sort of know it as a meeting point and a hub for goings on. Really, I would say.
Yeah, I've done a lot. I've done trading at Loomies, and they do nice teas and coffees. So what's the bonus?
And also marzipan.
Cerulean Marzipan Arena, or whatever it's called. It's basically marzipan with supposedly cerulean mazarine in it, but
it's got like energy, some kind of energy boost in it, hasn't it?
It definitely had alcohol in it. It said alcohol, and I could taste it, but I guess it wasn't like liquid alcohol to make you drunk. It was.
It's like blue dyed marzipan with other stuff. Very good though.
And it was nice.
I couldn't taste the alcohol though, but you could.
Yeah, maybe I'm super sensitive, or we just had two different types. So so yeah, we kind of did Loomies, and then I don't know. I guess we just sort of
You went and had a ritual done.
Oh yeah, we went to Urizen. So there's a coven I use in Urizen to do my rituals. So we went and did that during the battle, didn't we? Because I wasn't going to bother doing it. And then we were like, do you know what? Let's just go do it. Bumped into chap the coven, and they're like, yeah, come on then. So we went off to the Regio, got my ritual done, which is great.
Yeah.
And
I also
talking about the Regio, it's right behind us.
Is it right now?
Wow, that's the Regio.
I'm a bit behind on this side. Yeah.
So,
good.
yeah, so we went to the Regio, had my ritual done, and then I think by then the battle was winding down, so we...
Well, I sold that potion I had to your ritual house as well. Hall or house? What are they called in Urizen? Spire.
Yes.
I had a cool potion that helped alter mages, so I sold that off for a small amount more than I lost on the farm, because the farm had a debuff of coin, but I gained this potion of ashen residue. So I made a bit of coin on it.
But they were quite switched on by it, weren't they?
They were,
you were like, and they were like, well, we know exactly what it cost you to get that potion. We're like, okay.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's fair enough. So yeah, we did that, and then I think we caught the tail of the battle, didn't we? Where everyone was coming back through.
Yes, so I'm not too privy to what has happened, other than I know Dawn suffered heavy losses.
So a lot of what I know is kind of been after the event. So just to round off the event, and so you kind of headed off around 12, didn't you?
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, because there was we talk about it in the vlog. Actually, there was a sudden like weird air about the field where everyone was like, "There's rain coming."
We basically had this like with E1 where they were like, "Come through," like we're due heavy rain at 3. So everyone was like, right. And so you were like, and to be honest, you left early last event because you get home early and you've got your Sunday. And
yeah,
I kind of like that idea now because I've left early the last 2 events and it was nice just getting home nice and early to spend time with family. So, yeah, you were like, I'm going to leave at 12. And I was like, mate, I'm going to ride out a bit and talk to a few people. So I think I went back into the field, spoke to Ryder, and I was like, how did the battle go? And he was like, yeah, battle went well. Dawn took some heavy casualties, essentially. So I think the idea of the battle was you've got the main battlefield and then like a wooded area on there. And Dawn Dawn volunteered to fight in the woods, leaving the marchers, I don't know, and Wintermark to kind of be in the main field. And by the sound of it, Dawn just had a real rough time in the woods, essentially. I've heard like casualties, over 30 casualties, fatalities, should I say.
Yeah, it's I've heard varying reports. Yeah, 30 to 50 sort of numbers.
Yeah, so they've suffered, and then I think Wintermark and the Marches didn't get any, or maybe got 1 or 2.
No, which do you know what? That is, I'd say for Wintermark, that is, you know, we've really improved over the years, because we used to lose people left, right, and centre when we first joined.
I don't know. I think when we first joined, we were quite a force on the battlefield, and then we kind of diluted over the couple of years, and then maybe we're just seeing sort of a resurgence, a new golden age for the Wintermark military, perhaps. I don't know, anyway, I can't really say that after one good battle. However, we had a good battle Sunday. Obviously, Dawn didn't, but fighting in the woods is tricky anyway when you've got Dawn who are like a lot of heavy plate and stuff. You know, I don't know what decisions and stuff went around that. So, you know, that's for the military people. I'm not gonna slate any nations for performance and stuff because I don't actually know what happens. You know, I know fighting in the woods isn't easy, so they were obviously up against it. And I don't know what the other nations had to do for the battle. So that's all I know, really. And I think, again, sort of what I've seen on Facebook since, I think it's at least 30 people, Dawnish, died. So, yeah, which is interesting because it's surprising how, like, having a battle like that when you lose a large number, how much it could potentially shake up a nation. So we had this like a year or two ago with the orcs, didn't we?
Yes.
Like the orcs went out, the Imperial orcs went out one battle, and I think they lost like 20, 25 orcs, and to a nation of like 50 or so at the time.
I believe
it was humongous.
It was all of the Sunhammers
and the Gate Renderers.
Yeah, they also.
Yeah, which is like, you know, if you've got a small nation and you got like 40-50% of the population wiped out in a battle, like that's a massive shake-up. So it'd be interesting. Like you might find that potentially with Dawn. I don't know if any sort of hats, as they were, bit the dust in that battle. But if you had any senators or something like that, then obviously that shakes things up, or ball seat holders or anything like that. So,
well, we know one senator definitely didn't die.
Baldwin. Baldwin's also not a senator anymore, I believe.
Oh, yeah, they gave it up, didn't they?
Or didn't run again. Our mate Baldwin survived it. And yeah, so interesting to see the outcome of that. And again, I don't know if there's any bad tastes in anyone's mouth after that battle. I don't know if Dawn are livid at any people in particular, or they've just accepted that's what it is. I don't know. I don't know the feelings behind it, because yeah. So I guess we'll find out next event. You know.
Well, yeah.
So, but I think by the sound of it, we completed our. So to go on to like battlefield objectives, I think Saturday when we monstered, I think the Imperials got all their objectives, and then I think Sunday the Imperials got all their objectives. So yeah, I think for the Empire, battles went well. Obviously not for Dawn, but someone just put in the chat. Apparently, Dawn, quite a lot of Dawn pissed at Wintermark after the battle. So I'm not sure what that's about. I don't know. Again, I don't know. You know, sometimes you'll find a nation might sort of protect the retreat. You know, and sometimes if that nation doesn't pull their weight, then that messes the whole retreat up. So I don't know, maybe something like that. I know Wintermark previously had done sort of a hold for the retreat, but
yeah, I think the thing to take away from it is, as far as I am aware, correct me if I'm wrong, nobody who leads the armies in the battle are experienced real life army leaders. I could be wrong.
I cannot confirm that any IC generals are OC generals, if that's what you mean.
Yeah. So
I mean,
you know, it's all
apparently Axhind was like a SWAT like trainer or something.
Really?
Like yeah,
okay.
but this is rumor. Like this is what I was told. It could be complete rumors, but I heard he I
like it if it's true.
Like, yeah, and Axhind was a sorry, a Wintermark general who's not been around. He was there when we were first started, but I think he hurt himself.
Broke his foot.
Yeah, I thought it was a knee, but yeah, it's broke. He hurt himself, and then I think that put him off coming to LARP, or maybe he couldn't come to Empire. And then I don't know what he's done since, because I think he turned back up.
Saw him at E2.
Did you? Axhind.
But well, I'm not sure if it was Axhind. I saw the player character behind Axhind.
Oh, so the player goes now.
Yeah, or did for an event. It might have been at end of last year, maybe, but I definitely saw him in the last year.
I think
his son took over, I think.
Yeah, I think it might have been last year, because I definitely saw him come back for an event and then haven't seen him since. But anyway, slight tangent. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I've said it before. LARP combat's not real combat. It's so LARP fighting's not real fighting. There's different things you can and can't do. So it changes how you can do stuff. You know, it's a bit more. Yeah, it's not like necessarily battle tactics. It's slightly different because you've got to play the game in a way. So, but also, yeah, these generals are. So you've got like army generals, but then I think in the military meetings when they're talking about the battles, I think one of the generals will be assigned like field commander or field marshal, and they'll then plan or something like that. They'll then be charged to make sure the battle plan goes as it should. So then you'll find like these field marshals will take responsibility if it goes horribly wrong, or maybe they won't because they don't want to admit it's their fault. Perhaps, I don't know. So there's that side of it, which is interesting. But yeah, as I don't know, like I always like to think I would enjoy doing like a field marshal role because I like to think I'm military tactically minded, but I'm probably complete crap. So until I do it, I won't know.
You don't know till you try.
But this is why I want to get into a bit of a military game with my next character and just see what that's about, because it very much interests me, like that sort of tactical side of it. You know, talking to the generals where you're sending your armies and what they're doing, and yeah, interesting. So, but yeah, that Sunday battle, and then like I said, you left around midday, and I left probably 40 minutes after you, because I went to find Ryder, who I got a massive tangent from when I went to visit Ryder, and I was like, just let you know I'm going to be going in a bit, and they were like, oh yeah, everyone else is going to go, everyone else are getting food at the top of the field. And I was just like, I don't really want to walk all the way to the top of the field to say goodbye, to then walk all the way back to the van. So I ended up just skedaddling, which was kind of nice because I think I got home for about 3:45. When I've said previously, like if I leave at 3, well, the game ends at 3, and when I had like my mum and sister there, I'd help them pack down, and we'd potentially not even leave site till 5, and then I'm getting home around 5:30, 7:30, 8. You know, and I've got my daughter at home who I would like to see, so like, and put her to bed, which I normally I would miss that, so I would miss her going to bed. Whereas the last couple of events I've got home, and I had kind of 3-4 hours with her before she went to bed, which has been really nice. So
I think we've said it before. Like, obviously everyone has different situation, and I think you and I are quite similar in that, you know, we have this whole family that has no interest in going to LARP or doing anything like that. So it's not something that we can sort of share with our family as such. So it's nice to get home and sit and see them.
But I mean, I was gonna basically, like, you appreciate leaving early on a Sunday to get home and spending the Sunday with your family, and previously I've wanted to spend every minute at Empire. You know, when I go to Empire, I want to spend every minute doing it. Whereas I'm at a point now, I'm starting to think, well, what can I achieve in those last 2 hours of a Sunday? You know, when, like, and I think we said about this at the event, Mark, but it was just like, what's more valuable to me, 2 hours at the end of a Sunday at LARP, or 2 hours longer at home on a Sunday with a family? You know, and I'm like, do you know what? I think I'd rather, at this point in time, I think I'd rather just leave early on a Sunday. Get early, because again, I don't know what you do on Mondays, but I've started taking the Mondays off, although I haven't done last event. But I'm shattered after a weekend, you know. So just to get home and having those couple more hours, because without waffling, like previously, I'd get home at 7:30, 8. You know, and I think I used to drop my mum home, so that'd be like another hour round trip. So it'd be like 9 o'clock by the time I'm getting home. You know, I'd get back, I'd have a shower, and then I'm almost getting in bed and going to sleep, and then waking up and going to work. Like, I just haven't got time to relax after a long weekend. So doing it this way just means a bit of a wind down.
Yeah, I haven't been doing the Monday thing, but I think I've got quite a build-up of holiday this year. So it might be something that I do E4, have an extra day.
I'm going to do it. I should have. The one event I should have done it this year was this past event when I didn't do it because it's summer holidays. So I could have had because I think E1 was my birthday weekend. It was actually my birthday on the Monday, so I booked the day off. Me and my wife went and watched a film and got some food together, which was nice. Again, a Monday, like after Empire, where I could literally just chill out all day. I can't remember what I did June. Maybe I didn't take the Monday off for June, but yeah. So September, I definitely hope I've booked it off. I'll have to double check with work, but it just means come the Monday, you can just have a complete chill day. After a long weekend, fun, packed, tiring weekend.
Yeah, agreed.
That's my take on it anyway. Sorry for the waffle.
No. It's what we love you for, mate. Love a waffle. But yeah, that's our weekend. So hopefully you've enjoyed our little catch up on there. If you wanted to kind of see a little bit of that in action, it's mostly us talking about it. But the vlog for E3 is now live. If you haven't seen it, it's out there. It's behind us right now, like we said. You can actually go and view it at the. I just got to check that link is the link before I put it in the chat.
Yes, probably is.
No, it's the link for this stream. It would have been silly, but I've got it here. So I'll drop the link in chat. If you haven't watched it already, please do, because we love the engagement for the channel.
And hopefully people enjoy it, because that's what it's about. You know, I mean, saying that, we enjoy doing them, and that's what it's about. But I'm hoping what we enjoy doing, you enjoy watching.
Do you know what? The editing, I don't know if you found this when you did E2. The editing, it's like it's the most involved part. Like the bit that's happening right now, like I felt a bit awkward filming myself do all that shit, and it took like an hour. But and then I spent a couple of days editing it throughout the week. But it's so rewarding seeing it come together.
I really enjoyed the E2 editing, because also, like, I did some videos separate to you did some videos separate to me, so it's kind of cool seeing kind of content that I haven't seen yet.
Yes, and that is a good point, actually. We have a lot of content left over from E3 that hasn't gone into the vlog. We're gonna put together a blooper / deleted scene / just extra content video just for you guys in Discord. So we'll be I mean, I've got to put it together, and I should do it sharpish, because we're getting further away from the event, but we're gonna post it just in Discord for everyone who's in Discord, supporting the stream and being active and sharing their stories and stuff. It's just a little something to give back to you. Because there are some silly things that have been filmed. Like there's the clip of, not to give it away too much, but the clip of me driving down the OC field.
I was hoping that would make it in the.
Well, I didn't, like I said earlier, I didn't know you'd uploaded a load of stuff until I'd already done the intro, and then I saw that clip, and I was like, you could get that in, but I think it'd be a cool throwback to E1 without giving too much away.
Also, I was laughing the whole time I was videoing it. I was just giggling to myself. So, yeah, it's not so professional, is it? But yeah, I mean, absolutely, we got stuff like that. Also, like in the Discord, we added a like hots and knots for Empire.
Yeah,
because we haven't really been doing that, have we? So, and I've stopped doing it anyway. But I've added it for this event, and just in my hots and knots is a bit of a thing. And then also anyone in the Discord, like chuck your hots and knots up there. Because we will want to see. For example, we did bump into a few people from the Discord, and we had a chat at the event. But obviously, we don't know what you get up to. We don't know what your highlight of the weekend was, or what. So it's nice to flip through and see especially some of these new players. See what they've enjoyed, how they see the game, and also another thing, going into, dare I say, E4, which will be happening soonish. If there's anything you want to see in that vlog, or maybe see perhaps you would like us to talk about in the vlog, like, again, chuck it in the Discord, because
we've got a suggestions channel.
Ideas. Yeah, we're open to ideas, and if there's something like, can you, whatever. So we'd absolutely appreciate that, because we're happy to, show you what we can. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's it. I think we got it covered.
We didn't even stop for a drink wee break either.
No, we went straight through. That's how I was just buzzing to reminisce about the weekend, to be honest.
I mean, I'm absolutely bursting for a wee, but yeah.
Well, one more hour to go of us just sat here saying nothing, and then you can
with
have
no breaks. Yeah, fair
enough. Silly. No, it's been good. Looking forward to E4. And get the final vlog of the year for Empire out there. There is going to be some other content, hopefully. I ain't going to say too much on it in case it doesn't
we got to see where this year takes us, and then the long dark before next event takes us, because there's a few things we've got lined up. We just don't know what's going to happen or if they're going to happen yet.
Player events is going to be one of those things which
yeah,
we can do an episode on each event.
Hopefully we can do maybe a player event vlog. I don't know. Player events is something we want to do. We just got to look to see what's available. So
we have had not to go completely sideways. We have had a question in the chat before we go from Full Shot. Have you ever been hurt during LARP?
Yes.
Have you ever received an injury? Sun cream in the eye doesn't count as getting hurt.
Have I received an injury or have I injured myself? Because I walked into a tree branch. Straight into my eye like a couple of years ago. And my eye's never been right since, actually.
Yeah. I did that at Eversley.
I did that.
ILARP.
I remember you saying. Yeah, so I've done that and that really hurt. Years ago I tore a ligament in my knee, so my knee's shot in a way, and I think a few times in the battle I've kind of twisted it, or it's not been happy, but I think that's kind of it. We've seen quite a few injuries.
Well, you mentioned knees. Obviously we know somebody who spawned the whole game and story and song about hurting their knee at LARP. They actually had to go to hospital from the field.
I know, unfortunately we made a big I wouldn't say joke about it, but we made light of it. But yeah, they actually really hurt their knee and had to go to hospital. And
well, you say we didn't make the game anyway, or the story.
I wrote the story.
Did you? Oh, I thought Tom did.
Yeah.
No, okay. Okay. I take that back then. It's all Matt's fault.
Yeah. That was actually the event that happened. I think we were sat around the fire and we wrote. Anyway, sorry, Anduin. Although Anduin's dead, so he can't hear this. Of ex-Castellan fame. So, and then I was going to say I've seen someone else, fellow Wintermarker as well, who had to get like jeeped off the battlefield because they hurt probably a knee injury again. People do it. You just got to be careful. Also, not to mention that one event where everyone was getting heat stroke.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it absolutely happens. Also, it wasn't last event. It was the event before. Remember when I thought we walked past someone and it looked like they were passing out, like someone had hold of her and they were like, "Oh, come sit down, mate." So that might have been heat stroke because again, it was insanely hot in June.
Could have been.
So yeah, we got another question in the chat.
Yeah, I've just loaded up the roadmap just to check. So the question from Pete is: are you going to do a
pre-evil?
Yeah, the answer is yes. The E4 Froth stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I was. Yeah. No.
Okay. Before I throw out a date.
Yeah.
We've got it in for the 3rd of September.
Yeah.
Which I believe is the week before.
We tried to do it the week before because it's kind of relevant. Where I guess we talk about being excited leading up to the event, and if there's anything relevant in the wins that we think's interesting, we might talk about that.
Yes,
essentially, but there wasn't anything that caught my eye this last event, so I don't think we really talked about the wins. So an E4 is going to be a big event for me and you as well. So we're going to do a pre-E4. So I don't know if you got the road map up. Do we have another episode on another Yelp episode before the Froth stream, or is we do next, which is yet to be confirmed?
It's TBC. It's a nation. We have somebody lined up. We haven't asked them yet.
We went from being super organized, and we had like 6 streams lined up and booked in to suddenly hitting LARP season, and we haven't kept going. So we need to just slot in some more. But yeah, we've got one episode which will be a nation episode coming up in 2 weeks' time, if I'm correct, and then in theory 2 weeks' time it will be the Froth stream.
Yeah, so just to give a vague outline, this is what we've probably got lined up. It's actually a lot of nation specific episodes. So we've got one in 2 weeks' time which is going to be a nation, then E4 Froth stream, and then we've got pretty much up until the end of October nation ones to put out, and I think we could probably find somebody for all of them now.
Yeah.
There is
We've
one.
got a few.
There's one here I was really concerned about, and now after last event, I'm not so concerned about.
What nation? Okay, I won't ask. But okay. And we've got a few other episodes we might sneak in between as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So basically, we are one episode away from being halfway through all of our planned content so far, which is big. We've got content planned until the end of April next year, currently.
Yeah, and that's not including everything we've planned to get up to next year either, because we've got a lot planned sort of early next year, especially.
Yep. Also, that is only Empire content.
And also, that's not including sort of that's all the live streams, right? So that's not including any vlogs we do for player events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So busy bees.
Yeah, just to give you guys a rough idea of what's going on.
So
what's going on.
To answer the question, there is a pre-E4 Froth stream. I don't know if there'll be a post-E4 Froth stream. Maybe there will, because this is kind of I think there might have to be, if I'm honest.
There might, because we've got it's kind of a good forum, I think, for it. But I've just noticed we've got something booked in that's the same as another one that's booked in later in the year. So we can actually take this one out and do a post E4, which I'm going to do. And
I've quite enjoyed doing a post E3 Froth stream, because it was nice just talking about our experiences. Maybe because we just had a really good event. So, and I'm hoping people enjoyed hearing about it. So,
yeah, and hopefully we'll have a good one at E4.
Mm-hmm.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, essentially. So, yeah, excellent.
So that's it from us for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. There's not much left of it now. And in no time, we're going to see you at E4.
Yeah. I was about to say, we'll say goodbye there, and then maybe, Mark, you can quickly answer the question in the chat.
Okay, yeah. Goodbye.
Bye. All right. And then we've got another question.
Yeah. I mean, we can't go to the end screen yet.
But that's just for the video. Look, when we cut this and just chuck in the video, you can get rid of this bit unless people want to watch it.
What about the ending soon part that's normally on the video? We just won't have it on this one. It's fine.
Yeah, we can just cut this bit out.
We're letting you behind the scenes. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I can't actually see it because it's got a flipping. It's got the emoji thing over it. Hang on.
I know, that's really. Are you? Yeah, that emoji thing's silly.
Are you who are going to Dumnolly going to vlog? So, I'd love to, but I don't know. I haven't spoken to anyone at Dumnolly yet about how they feel about it. But what I will definitely do is an end of the day rundown back at my tent or in the car. At the very least, but
yeah.
Brahms, if you know anyone involved in the running of it, or if you already know whether they are happy for it, then definitely I'd be up for that. And it would be, me and Matt are going to talk about it in the week, but maybe try and get a couple of people to chat to, possibly.
Yeah, we did think. I was going to say it would be really cool for you to do like a vlog for that. Even if it's just a pre-event chat and then a end-of-day chat sort of thing. It'd be cool. Just it's another interesting game that I don't know enough about, so it'd be interesting to hear your experience. And I'm sure people would like to hear it as well. So, yeah, definitely. Could have Oliver from To Having to Roll on. It would be cool to do some content with some other content creators at Empire. We haven't really had a chance to connect just yet. We said earlier in the stream we did spot them going off to battle on the Saturday, but obviously we're all in character, so we're obviously not going to be like, oh hey, you're so and so, we're so and so. Yeah, I might chat to him about it. I normally hang out in his streams, but I haven't seen them live for a while. I don't know if they're not doing Twitch so much, possibly. Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, yeah, I think with anything with content creators, obviously, we would love to chat to others. assuming they would want to chat to us. So I don't know. Maybe that's
Yeah.
something down the line we got to do when we. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Oliver and Robin on would be cool to do like a 4-person one. We haven't done a
Yeah.
4-person one for a while.
Well, I think it's quite cool with them, although I don't know if they're changing nations because of things. But they're from a different nation, so it's a bit of a fresh chat, isn't it? So
yeah,
I'd like to. Yeah, I'd like to talk to them. So maybe one day we'll do something. Right.
But yes, good shout, good suggestion.
I think we've said this with Adventuring Party as well.
Yeah, we were chatting to them I was chatting to them in their stream, one of the streams about it was for E3, I think, about maybe meeting up, but there's just something always gets in the way of plans. I've noticed at Empire. Just need to make more solid ones.
We got to be better in the future. So.
But yeah, cool. Let's finish off there.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks everyone. Much love. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.